In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create beautifully designed floating headers using the Elementor Pro theme builder. I'm going to teach you how you can create this kind of headers from scratch using the Elementor Flexbox and grid containers. And we're also going to focus on the responsive optimization for different kind of devices. You're going to find all the links and resources that are mentioned in the video in the description box down below. Hi, my name is Pascal and I'm the founder of WP Roads, the YouTube channel and website where I share my passion about WordPress. So if you like news, tutorials and reviews about WordPress, make sure to subscribe to this channel. This kind of floating header modern design is becoming more and more popular nowadays, and you can start seeing it as a design trend in many websites. And I'm sure that you or your clients could benefit of a header designed this way. So let's see how to create one together. Here you can see the 3 different headers that we're going to create together during the tutorial. You can reach the different parts of the tutorial where I show each kind of header directly by using the timestamps that are provided below. Let's see these headers now in action. This is the first one, and as you can see, it's a sticky floating header with a logo, the name of your website, a menu, and then a call to action and some social media icons. The second one is minimalistic, and you have the center logo with 2 small menus on the left side and on the right side. And finally, we have this one, which has a logo on the left side, a menu, social media icons, and a call to action on the right side. And in this case, we also added a slight shadow to make it stand out a little bit more. In a separate tutorial that I will link you in the description below, you will also learn how to create beautiful mega menus like this one using the advanced features of Elementor Pro. During the video, I'm also going to show you how you can optimize all your menus for mobile and tablet. And voila! In a separate video that I will link in the description below, you will also find a tutorial on how to create a beautiful slide-in menu like this one. All this using the advanced features of Elementor Pro. And now let's dive in. Let's start to recreate the same header that you can see right now by activating the theme builder. So we go here, we activate the theme builder. Okay, we go to the header section and we click on add new. Okay, we can click here on the X icon. And voila, this is our blank canvas. So let's go for the first thing here to do is to click in the gear icon here, okay? And in the settings of the page, we just need to rename it. We'll call it simply header version 5 in my case. Okay, I'll get rid of this. And this is very important. You have to give it an HTML tag, which is the correct one. So in this case, this is the header. Okay, perfect. Be sure to do so because it's very important also for SEO point of view. And let's go and add a first container, which will be the main container in which we will position all our content. So in our case, you can see this is a floating header, very modern, very cool. So let's go. We click on the plus icon. We had a Flexbox container, and this will be from left to right. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now, I suggest you also to use the same breakpoints that I'm using, at least the laptop one, because I saw that in many cases you need to have them separately. And also, of course, the others are great. So the table portrait and the mobile landscape and the mobile portrait. In case you don't know how to add or remove all these, it's very easy. You just go to the site settings, you go to the layout tab here, and you decide here if you want to add or remove any breakpoint. You see here? Okay. So in my case, I've added the laptop one, which is very, very useful. I'll go back now to my website. Okay, perfect. I go back to the header settings. Okay, so here I can go to the style tab and I can add some margin. So I will just unlink all the values, make sure to be in the desktop view in this case. And when I unlink all the values, I go here and make it from the margin top 20 pixels. So in this case, I am just adding some margin from the top of the browser so that the header will be floating like this. Okay, let's go. So this is my header. I go back now to my main container. I can also open the structure widget, which is this one, perfect. I can rename it, maybe call it main navigation. And then once I selected my container, I will go to the layout tab and make it full width. In the content width here, I just select full width. Okay, perfect, full width. I go now to the desktop, okay, perfect. And I assign a value in pixels. So this will be on 1140 pixels like this. Make sure to make the same as me. And then I will switch to the laptop view and I will make it in percentage. Okay. And I will make it 90%. Let's switch back now to the desktop view. Okay. So this will be your situation right now. Now I will start adding some content. So the first content I will add inside here, it will be my site logo, which is already configured in my case. So I go and click on the site logo. Perfect. And I will assign to this site logo a style, which will be a width, a custom width. So I will go here in pixels, I will make it 80 pixels. Now, since I have a logo that contains already inside some padding, as you can see here, this section is already padded. We can say it like this. But if in your case, the logo, it's all attached, you can insert some padding into the main container. Like for example, go into the main container, advanced tab, and you can add some padding right here and play around with all the padding. Okay, now I will start adding some other content, but before doing so, I'll go back to my main navigation container, which is this one. I'll go to the style tab and I will add a border so I can clearly see what I'm building. Let's click on the border. Let's give it a solid border. It will be 1 pixel and it will be here with a global color, which is this one. If you want to learn how to build from scratch a complete and professional website using Elementor Pro, I suggest you to watch the full 8 hours guide that I just published on my YouTube channel, which will be linked in the description below and in the cards of this video. In that tutorial, I explain you step by step how you can set up all your global styling, global colors, and so on. So now if you go and preview Command P or CTRL-P, you see that our header, it's like this, empty and ready to be filled with all the content that we need. Okay, let's go on. Now, in case your logo does not contain, like in my case, also the name of the brand and you need to add it separately, you can go and click on the plus icon and go and add your site title if you want, or if you want to have more flexibility, you can have also the heading element, which will be in my case, of course. I will add the heading element and I will change the HTML tag. I can go with a div or with a P, with a paragraph. In my case, I will go with a div, okay? And I will change it to the name of my brand, okay? In my case, WP Roads. Okay, perfect. Let's switch now the styling. So we go to the style tab, and in my case, I will quickly go and assign some global styling that I've already prepared in my website. Okay, and I will go into my main navigation container now. Okay, and I can go to the layout tab, scroll down, and I will assign align items to the center. So make sure to go here to the align items and you select the center one. Okay, as you can see, all the content will be placed to the center. Perfect. So now let's add the menu. We'll go to the add element menu. In my case, I'm using the new Elementor menu, which when you watch this video might still be in the experiments. So make sure to go to the Elementor features, experiments, and enable the menu. And this one will be the same menu that I'm using right now. And I will place it at the end. So I select the menu and I will place it at the end like this. Okay. Then I will be able to add a button, which will be this one. And to finish all the elements here, I will need some social media icons. Okay. So let's go on the plus icon, social media. Okay, and social media icons. In my case here, I will just copy and paste the styling here, so I do not need to redo it again from scratch. Okay, let's go and copy and paste styling. Okay, paste style. Perfect. Okay, so now this is my header. Perfect. I have all my elements in place. As you see, until here, it's quite basic and quite easy to obtain the same design, but we still need to be careful and provide some very important settings in order to be able to optimize everything, also for all the other devices. So let's go back here. And if you need to add sticky scrolling, like in my case here, you just need to go back to your main navigation here, to your main container, and we will add to the advanced tab. We scroll down here. We go to the motion effects and we enable the sticky mode to the top. And we also can choose if you want to enable this sticky mode only on some devices. In my case, I will leave it enabled on all devices. And for example, if you want to remove it on mobile, you can do like this and so on. In my case, I will leave it enabled. And you can choose also an offset spacing right here, which will be, as you can see here now, if I scroll down, there will be no space from the top of the page and the menu. And if I want to maintain the same spacing, I will just need to put here the same amount of spacing. In my case, it's 20 pixels. So as you can see here, 20 pixels are maintained when I scroll down. Okay, now as you can see here, there's a little bit of a weird situation because I do not have a background. So I see that my header is transparent and I just need to go to my main navigation. I will go to the style and I will add a simple background. In my case, it will work fine with a simple white color. Okay. And now when I scroll down, my header is no more transparent. It has a white background. We will add some quick styling here to the menu. style, typography. Here I have just my custom typography. If you want, of course, here you can link all your pages. I will link just my main pages in my case. Okay, I will click here on the button. If you want here, you can also link to your pages. In my case, this will be my contact page. And of course, you can also add your links to your social media and so on. Here, if you want to, if you have a transparent background logo, you can also add a background here, which is great because you can apply some cool effects, like in this case, the hover effect that makes the color change exactly like the button right here. So I will use the same here. I will apply a background color. I'll go here to my logo. I will go to the advanced tab. And in my case, I just add a background color. It will be this one, okay? And I will also add another color, which will be the secondary accent. Okay, so as the button here, this one will be the same. Voila, let's have a quick preview. Okay, now the header starts to look very, very professional, modern, and good looking. Okay, we can publish this header. If you want to add it somewhere on your website, you can do it by adding a condition. In my case, I will just save it. Okay, we'll go and have a quick preview, and it looks beautiful. Now we just need to optimize everything for mobile. So we go to the first one, the laptop view, and it looks fine, perfect. We go to the tablet portrait, and now we will have to style the menu. As you can see here, it will look something like this, and we will just need to change it a little bit and to take control of all the elements right here. So we select the menu here. We can also open the drop down if you click on the icon, and you see how the elements are a little bit weird. We need to tidy up things right here. First thing, as you see here, there is a weird background color to the toggle icon. So let's get rid of this. We just need to select the menu. We go to the style tab. We scroll down until we find the menu toggle. Okay. We scroll down here, we go to the hover, and we add a background type and we make it white. Okay. Same here to the active tab, we add a background color and we make it white. Okay. Voila. As you can see now, the problem has gone. Okay, maybe some cases there will still be something. Let's make sure to go here to the normal tab too and make it white. Okay. So in this case, voila, perfect. Everything is white. Or of course, if in your case you have a different background color, you have to match it with that one. Okay, let's leave the menu open, okay? And let's decide now the distance from the drop down. You can see here that in the menu toggle, if you scroll down here, you can also set up the distance of the menu, of the drop down from the rest of the content. And now here, I will just try to make it go like this, okay? So that there is more spacing and more room for the drop down menu, like in this case, 30 pixels, okay? And then I will need to go to the drop down menu, still in the style tab, okay, drop down menu, and from here I will change and style up everything as I wish. I can change, for example, the text color, the background. In my case, I will add a simple background, a light one like this one, okay, so that the menu, as you can see here, is more visible. Okay, perfect. And then I will add a border. I saw that if you add a border by clicking on the solid here, it will apply a 2 pixels border. I don't know why it is like this, and it doesn't work very well. So as you can see here, the border is not working. I don't know why. It's a weird bug. So you can just go here on the box shadow. You can add a box shadow. You can change the color from here, and you can change the elements. If you want, you can also make this box shadow behave like a border by adding 0, 0, 0 and making the spread to 1. As you can see here, we have a border right now. Perfect. Okay, now we will go back to the content tab, and by scrolling down here to the item position, we will make it center. Okay, so that all the elements will appear to the center, which will be more easy for the user to access. Okay, perfect. Let's make a quick check here. Everything works fine. Okay. And let's see now how it works also from mobile landscape. Okay. And from mobile portrait, it looks good. Okay. Perfect. Now we will just need to style differently the mobile map, but we will do it later. So let's go back to the tablet portrait. Okay. And we can also decide to place this element in a different position. The first thing I can do here is to go to the still to the content tab. We scroll down here. We go to the menu toggle and we decide, for example, to make it to the end so that it will be as you can see here, replaced to the right side of the container in this case, okay? And if you want, you can also go to the Advanced tab and move it at the end of the header. So be sure to select this element here, you go to the Advanced tab, you go to the order, okay, which is this one, this option here, and you place it to the end. Voila. As you can see here now, the menu is at the end of the container, and let me have a quick preview. Okay, don't worry because now it's just, okay, it readjusts and it works fine, perfect. Let's go back here. We'll just need to add some margin to the right side. Go to the Advanced tab still, we go to the margin and we go and add a right margin about 20 pixels. This works fine, perfect. We can also make it a little bit bigger so it's more visible. So we scroll down, so we go to the Style tab, we scroll down until we find again our menu toggle and we change the size. Let me check, 20 pixels. Or even 25 pixels. Voila, this is way more visible. Okay, now the menu works fine, perfect. To get rid of this spacing right here, I just need to do like this. I will select my menu here and I make sure that in the Advanced tab, I will select the size and shrink. Okay, and then I will go here in the elements that I want to keep on the left side. In my case, it's the WP Road title here. I select this title, I scroll down to the Advanced tab, and I select the size grow. As you can see here, by applying this simple option right here, this will increase the spacing of this element until there is space inside the container. So this will be perfect in my case. And I will also swap the position of my social media icons and I will place them before the click here button. So I select them right here. Now, if I try to use the order settings right here, I will see that I can choose the start, but it's not what I want. I can choose the end, but is not what I want, but I can also choose the custom, which is exactly what I want right now. I go to the custom order and I apply here a number. In my case, I want this item to appear in the third position. Okay, so I leave the number 3. Here I will apply the number 1, advanced custom order number 1. Here I will apply the number 2. Okay, select this one, Advanced tab, order 2. Okay, and here I will apply the number 4 right here to the button, Advanced tab, order number 4. And now, as you can see, all my icons are correctly applied to the number 3. And this one is the last one, which is correctly what I want. That's perfect. Let's have a quick preview. Okay, this works fine. This is my desktop view. Perfect. This is my tablet view. And if I go now to the mobile landscape, it will be like this. And I will need now to adjust everything for mobile portrait because you can see that all the elements are just not correctly aligned when I switch to mobile portrait. Let's see how we can proceed right now. We go back to our Elementor, perfect. And as you can see here, I've just hidden my social media icons. And if you want to do so, you can go to the Advanced tab, you scroll down to the Responsive tab, and you make sure to hide this element on mobile portrait. You can also hide any other element that you do not want to keep in the mobile view, and we can continue styling all the other elements. Let's go, for example, to our social media icons. As they are hidden right here, I will decide to place the header at the end so that it won't bother me when I'm styling all the other things. Perfect. And if you want, you can also place this element here, which will be my menu, as a third position. So we go to the order here and we place it third position. Okay. And if you want, you can keep this button, the click here button, and you can increase the size. For example, we can make it grow. Okay, and we can go to the content here, to the style tab here, and we can make it justified so that we can make it bigger and easier to see. Now, if I go here and have a quick preview, this will be the structure of my menu, and I can also decide to remove the spacing. Okay, to remove that spacing here, I just need to select the main container. Okay. And to adjust a little bit into the layout tab, we scroll down, we will adjust the gaps. So we'll make it on 0, perfect. We will leave the column gap to 10 pixels and we will go and let the row 0 pixels. Okay, now it works fine. If we need to separate better the elements, we can just change the background color here of our logo, which is what I'm going to do right now. Okay, now it looks perfect. Now we need to do 2 little adjustments, which will be the first one. As you can see here, we need more spacing here from the drop-down menu and the rest of the elements. And the second adjustment will be the left and right spacing of the element to keep the floating effect As you can see here, the floating effect is there in the tablet mode, but you have to make sure that it's still there also in the mobile if you want. So let's go here back in the editing system. We'll go and select the main navigation, and we'll go here and change the width. Will be not 100%, but just 90%. Okay. If you see some errors, you just need to save the page and reload it, and it will work correctly. Like in my case, you can see that in the preview now, it looks perfect. And it's a beautiful floating header like this. Okay, let's go and add now a spacing between the menu and all the other items. So we go back to our menu right here. We go to the Style tab. We scroll down here until we find the menu toggle. And we scroll down and we increase the distance from drop down. Okay, we can choose to hide the button if you want to, or if you want to make it visible, to leave it visible even when the menu is opened, you can make it like this. And as you can see right here, this looks beautiful. So let's go back here. We can publish this menu. You can add a condition and place it wherever you want in your website. In my case, I will just save and close. Okay. I go back to my desktop view and have a quick preview of this beautiful header. Wow, it looks great. And if I stretch the window, I will see it in action in different devices. Perfect. And down here, perfect. As you can see here, the button stays here in the right side instead of going down to the bottom of the header. To make sure that the behavior is exactly what we want like this, we will just need to go here back to our header. We select the button here and we make sure that in the last breakpoint, which is this one, the mobile portrait, the button will be full width. Okay, perfect. We publish, save and close. Let's go and have a quick preview. We stretch the window right now and voila, the button is perfectly aligned at the end. Voila, this looks perfect. Congratulations, you've just built a beautiful floating header with a modern and very good looking design. Let's see now how to create a beautiful, good looking and modern designed header like this one with a center logo and a double menu, one on the left side and one on the right side. This is a great solution if you do not have many menu items, like in my case, I just have 4. And if you want to keep your header simple and still very effective and easy to navigate. In my case, as you can see now, when I stretch down the header, I have created a beautiful and optimized menu also for mobile. Let's see how to build this beautiful header. First thing to do is open the theme builder. Perfect. Now that you have opened the theme builder, you go to the header section. We can go and add a new header. Okay. We get rid of this window. Okay. And we can go to the header settings. First thing to do is to give it a name. So this one will be the header centered. We'll go here to the HTML tag and we add the header tag, perfect, which is very important. And then we go to the style tab, we unlink all the values of the margin and we add a margin top of 20 pixels so that we will obtain the floating effect like this one. If you want, you can also add a margin button, but it will depend on the kind of design that all your pages will have. In my case, I will just add it to make sure that the header will always stay floating like this, no matter which kind of content will be beneath. Okay, let's go on. You can create this kind of content in different ways, but in my case, I will use a grid container. Okay, and I will use a simple 3 columns structure. Okay, I will go now into the grid container. I can rename it if I want. I call it main header. Okay, and then I can go to the grid container in the layout tab. I'll go and make content width full width. I'll go here and switch to the pixels. I will insert here 1140 pixels. I'll make sure then to select the laptop view and I'll switch here to percentage and make it 90%. Okay. So now I will be able to go back to my structure here, make sure to select my main header, and I can also add the background. So I go to the style, I go to the background type, and I suggest you here, if you want to obtain the same effect here, you can add gradient background. Okay. Let's add a gradient. The first color in my case I've just prepared here will be, let's say, this one, and the second one will be this one. Okay. Now I will just need to add a border. Okay, let's go to the style tab, border. This will be a solid border of 1 pixel, and the border color will be the same. I have a global border color, which is this one. The border radius is this one. Okay, perfect. So let's have a quick preview now. The content is just empty. So now this is the space in which we will insert all our content like this. Let's go here. Let's start adding some content. Let's place here the first element, which will be an icon list in my case. Okay, icon list number 1. I can make it inline like this, and I can make it also in the style tab to the center. Okay, I'll go now and add some more content, which will be my site logo. Okay, in this case, my site logo will be also in the style tab, a little bit smaller. So I'll go in pixels here, and make sure here to be in the desktop view, in the main view. Okay, and I will go here in the pixels, and I will make it something like 80 pixels. Okay. Now we go to the last one. We continue adding our last content. Icon list. We can also copy and paste the same styling of the first one. Okay. And now what we need to do is to place the content and align it correctly at the center, vertically centered. So we'll make sure to select the main grid here, main grid container. We go scroll down to the layout tab, and we go and align items to the center like this. Voila, this is perfect. Now we can start adding our content right here. The first one will be the content about the home page, for example, the home and the icon. I've just downloaded a set of icons. I'll show you also how to do all these advanced features like uploading custom icons and so on if you follow my complete 8 hours Elementor tutorial, which will be linked in the description below and in the cards of this video. I will also give you the link to download this beautiful set of icons, which is free, by the way. Let's click on the insert icon here. Okay, now we have a home page. We will add the second one will be the blog one. So let me check here if there is a... Okay, this will be the blog. Last item, I do not need it right now. Okay, and I can change the styling. Okay, go to the style, make sure to be aligned to the center. Okay, icon, color, this one, increase a little bit the size. Okay, let's do it 20 pixels. Text, color will be dark, typography will be this one. Okay, let's increase a little bit the distance here between the icon and the elements. Let's make it 5, and I will copy and paste the styling here. Okay, and now we'll go here into the second section. Now we'll link to the about page, linear icons, and the last page will be the services page. Okay, now I can publish, and I can also place this header wherever I want in my website. In this case, I will just save and close. Okay, and have a quick preview. Okay, in this case, as you can see here, there are some styling that are missing because when I was editing them, I was in the laptop view and I was not seeing the actual styling of the desktop view. So let's go back to the desktop view and make sure that while we are in the desktop view here, we select the main container and we scroll down to the layout. In this case, okay, it's correctly centered, but all the rest, like for example, the border, we go here to the style, we scroll down to the border, and we make sure that we have a border width about 1 pixel and a border radius of 10 pixels. Now if I go and publish, save and close, and I go and have a quick preview, it will look perfect. Okay, if you want to add a sticky navigation, like in my example here, we just need to go now to the main element here. Okay, we go to the advanced tab. Okay, we are in the main header. We scroll down until we find motion effects, and we apply the sticky option. Okay, we make it to top. Now, if you apply it like this, you see that all the elements, all the main header will be sticky to the top of the page. And if you want to keep the proportion here of the spacing, you can scroll down here and apply an offset. In my case, it was about 20 pixels, and in fact, it works perfectly. You see here, the element stays floating. It's a floating header. Let's have a quick preview like this. Voila. Okay. You can decide to enable or disable the sticky option in different devices based on your needs. And if you want to increase the contrast between the header and all the other elements on your pages, you can also add a shadow if you want. So we can add a shadow here by selecting the main header, going to the Style tab. We will scroll here to the border, and we will simply add a box shadow. Here there is an option. We enable this, and I suggest you here to be careful and to use it in a very, very light way. So we'll scroll down here, we go to the color, and we make it very, 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 very subtle, like this. Okay, 0.11 should work fine. Let's publish, save and close, and have a quick preview. And this is still too much for me, so I will go here and make the spread back to 0, publish, save and close. Voila, this looks fine. As you can see now, when you will scroll and you will see all the other content inside your page, you will be able to increase the contrast between the header and the rest of the page. Okay, now let's play around with the centered logo. If you need to add a background or make the logo a little bit smaller and give more room and space to the left and right sections, you can go and select the main header, which is a grid in my case, go to the layout tab, we scroll down here and we can play around with the columns. If you go and click here on the FR, you see here there is columns FR, you select here and you can see that there is an icon, which is this one, which is the custom settings. And you can replace the custom settings by adding, for example, 4 FR, 1 FR and 4 FR. As you can see now here, the centered element is way smaller than the other ones. You see the first and the last one. And this is because we just entered here 4 FR, 1 fraction and 4 fraction. So basically this is the structure, the new structure that we created with our grid, which is great. Now we can just select the main logo here and we can add a background. We go to the advanced tab, we scroll down to the background. Okay, in my case I will just add a simple background, which will be my accent color, this one. I can publish, save and close and have a quick preview, and voila, this is my beautiful center logo header with a logo with a custom background. Of course, I can also add a background hover color, which will be different, like this, for example. Voila, publish, save, quick preview, voila, this works fine. Now let's style everything for mobile. Make sure that in laptop view it works fine, okay? Into the tablet portrait, it's still fine. And when we go to the mobile landscape, it's still fine. Of course, it will depend of the number of elements that you have in your menus. And then we will go to the mobile portrait. Okay, now here we will need to tweak around a little bit things. We will need to make some custom settings. So the first one, in my case, will be the spacing left and right. So I go to my main header. In my settings, I have set the full width content to be 100%, but in this case, I want it to be 90%. Okay, don't worry if it's not aligned because we just need to publish, save, and when we will go and switch back and forth, it will look fine. Okay, perfect. Now, what we need to do is to make sure that all the elements will have a different dimension, and to have more flexibility, we will just need to hide these two menus, left and right, and switch the positioning of this logo to the left, and in the right side we will add this beautiful icon which will be linked to our custom slide-in menu like this one. Let's see how to do so. We'll go back here to our menu. The first thing will be hiding the two icon lists. So the first one here, advanced, scroll down, responsive, and I will hide it on my mobile portrait. I'll do the same with the second icon list, advanced, responsive, and hide on mobile portrait. Well done, perfect. Now I'll go to my site logo and I will place it at the start of the header. Site logo, advanced tab, order, and I will click on start. Okay, perfect. Voila. I will just need now to add the icon that I will use in order to recall the pop-up, which will be something like this. Voila. Okay. To do so, I'll just go here, click on the plus icon and insert an icon. Okay. I will place this icon as the last element. So in my case, I will switch it, voila, at the end of the header. Now let's assign a different icon. For example, this one or any other icon that could work well for a mobile menu. In my case, there is a little bit of spacing down here. So I will go to the advanced tab and assign a negative margin to the bottom so that the element will be perfectly aligned like this. Okay. And I will style it a little bit. So I will change the color, for example, and let's make it like this. Okay. Now the last thing here in the button, it will be in the advanced tab, the responsive section, and we need to hide this element in the desktop mode and all the other modes that are not mobile portrait in my case. So let's have a quick preview here. Okay. If we go back here, we see all the other elements. Great. And if you go here, we will see this one. Okay, this works fine for me. We'll just need now to make the logo on the left side and the menu here on the right side. Okay, let's go and see how to do so. We select the main header, which is the grid, and in the layout tab, we scroll down and we make the autoflow column. Perfect. We have a quick preview. Okay, now it looks perfect. We can even just keep it like this if we want, but of course we can also style a little bit better the content dimensioning right here, the logo and the menu on the right side. Let's open back the options. I will just publish and reload the page, save and reload the page. And if I stretch a little bit more, I can see again my logo, which has disappeared. Okay, perfect. But of course, if you go and have a quick preview, you see that logo has not disappeared. It's just a little bug here. Okay, so let's go back here. So we stretch a little bit more. Okay, and our logo here in the mobile view should be a little bit differently styled. Now I'm here in the main header, and I will need to go to the layout tab and make sure in the column section, when I'm on mobile portrait, to make it 1. Instead of 1 FR, I will just leave the columns 1 like this. Perfect. Let me have a quick preview. Okay, now it works fine. And I will just place this content here in the right side of the page. So I will select the icon here and I will align it to the right side. I will also make sure to select this icon, and in the advanced tab, I will go and make it order at the end. Okay, let me see if it works. Perfect. I will just increase a little bit more the margin of this icon, the right margin. So let's go in the right margin. Let's make it 20 pixels. Okay, or even a little bit less, 10 pixels. And we will go here and add a border radius to my logo. Okay, we'll go to the advanced tab, border. Okay, border radius, it will be, okay, unlinked. And the top 10 pixel and the left 10 pixels. Okay, let's publish and have a quick preview. Okay, let's stretch the window to see how it works. And voila, now from mobile, you see, everything looks perfect. Wow, this is beautiful. And now if you have a pop-up menu, you can click on the icon here to the content tab. You go to the dynamic tag in the link settings here. And here you just need to scroll until you find the pop-up action. And you will be able here to select your pop-up. In my case, this is my mobile menu pop-up. Mobile menu, there it is. Okay, and now if I publish, save, and have a preview in my mobile view, I'll be able to click here and see my beautiful slide-in menu. Perfect. Let's see now how to create this kind of header. It's a floating header like the other ones that we created in this tutorial. And in this case, we have the logo on the left side, a simple menu, social media icons, and a call to action on the right side. We added some rounded borders and a slight shadow effect. And as always, we will be optimizing everything also for tablet and mobile. So let's start here by opening the theme builder of Elementor, and we're going to click on the header plus icon, and we're going to create a new header. Okay, as always, we close this window and we start building our beautiful header. We can go here in the header settings and give it a name. In my case, this one will be the header number 5 or 6. Let me do 6. Yes, like this. I will just call it header version 6. And this is very important. You have to select here the HTML tag header so that for your website structure, this will work fine. This is very important also from a SEO point of view. Let's go down here still to the settings of the page. Let's go to the style page, to the style tab. And if you want to create the same kind of floating header, you need to add some spacing on the top, and if you want also on the bottom of the header. So let's unlink the values of margin, and we will add 20 pixels to the top and 20 pixels to the bottom. Okay, now we are ready to start inserting all the content. So we will go to the plus icon. In my case, I will use the Flexbox container, and I will choose the left to right container, so the direction row. Okay, here we are. We can place the structure a little bit down here. We can rename this first container, call it main navigation. And then we can start adding our content. We go to the plus icon. The first content will be the logo. And depending on the kind of logo that you are using on your website, you will need to style it a little bit differently. In my case, I've chosen to use squared logo, as you can see here. So I will be able to replicate the exact design here, but this will work, of course, even if you're using an horizontal logo. So let me show you the difference here. If I want, I can also change the site logo directly here from the global settings. And in my case, I've also had here a horizontal logo. So if I save changes and reload the page, it will be visible like this. And basically it will work the same, but you just have to style it a little bit differently. Like for example, here I'm going to my style page, to my style tab. I'm going to pixels, and I'm going to put it about, let me check, 150. Too small, maybe 200. Okay, this could work fine. Okay. We go back here into the main container now, and we can start adding our all the rest of the content. In my case, there will be the menu here. Now, if you want to use the same menu that I'm using in this tutorial, you have to go to the Elementor Features section, Elementor Settings, Features, and here scroll down and make sure to activate the menu item, which is this one. As you can see, when I'm recording this video, this feature is still in beta, but I believe that this will be soon moved to the stable features right down here. So in case you find it here and still in beta, make sure to activate it if you want to use it like me in this tutorial. Okay, let's go on. We will use now the menu. Okay, this is the menu that I'm using. We'll just style it a little bit very quickly. So I'm going here to change the color, and I'm going to change the typography. I've already prepared some typography, okay, as you can see here. And all this global styling, I explained to you how to create them in my complete 8 hours tutorial about Elementor Pro. And you can find the link in the description below and in the card of this video. Let's go on now by adding the social media icons. Okay, perfect. I will copy and paste the styling from my header, okay, so that I do not have to restyle it again. Okay, copy and paste. Perfect. And I will add a call to action at the end of this header. So plus icon, in my case, this will be a simple button. Okay, of course you will be free to replace all these contents with the content that you need in your specific kind of header, but this is just to show you how you can place content here and organize it well in different devices. So this is our basic header, as you can see here, and now what we need to do is to align items vertically. As you can see here, all the items are not vertically aligned and centered. To do so, we have to select our main container, we have to scroll down into the layout tab, and we're going to choose the align items center. Okay, as you can see here, all the content will be replaced to the center. Perfect. Then we will need to add a border to our container, in order to obtain the same effect as this one. You see here. To do so, make sure to select the main navigation. Okay, and make sure to do the first thing, which is the content width. We have to change it to full width. We go here, we make it full width. Okay, and we give it a full width, which will be in pixels in my case, and it will work for most of the cases, 1140, which is the standard Elementor width of all the elements in general. Okay, and then we will need to change also the width from laptop. Okay, if you do not have the laptop breakpoint, you have to add it by going to the site settings, scrolling down to the layout, and making sure that in the breakpoint sections you've added the laptop, which is added right now here. Okay, let's go back. We're going to add our laptop view. Okay, perfect. And in the laptop view, we're going to make a percentage, and we're going to use the 90%, which will work fine in most of the cases. Okay, let's go and see now the mobile portrait, and we'll see that we need here also to make it 90%. Okay, so it will stay, as you can see here, floating, the header floating, the floating header. And then let's go back to the main desktop view and continue styling all the elements. We'll go into the style tab, and we're going to be adding a border right now. Go to the border. Okay, border radius will be 10 pixels, and we're going to add a solid border about 1 pixels. In my case, this will work fine for my specific type of design. Okay, let's have a quick preview. Voila, this is our basic floating header, and if you want, you can add some padding right now. Okay, let's see how to do so. We're going to select the main header, the main navigation container. We're going to the advanced tab, and we're going to add some padding. We're going to play around with pixels until we find the right pixel that works for our design. In this case, let me see a quick preview. This works fine, it's beautiful, and it's very well organized, so I will leave it like this. Beautiful. Of course, here you can tweak around your logo, you can place it differently, you can set up all the elements of the menu by clicking and linking the different pages in the content right here, giving them a name. For example, here this is the home page, I will link into the home page, and so on. Okay, let me do it quickly. And then we can also set up and style all the other elements. Let me go here in the button. Okay, so basically we created the basic desktop view of our header. We just need to add the sticky effect. As you can see in my example here, there is a sticky effect. And to do the same thing here, we just need to select the main container. We go to the advanced tab, we scroll down until we find motion effects, this one. We open this tab here and we select the sticky option and we place it at the top. Okay, here as you can see, you can choose where you want this menu to be sticky: desktop, laptop, different tablet, portrait, and so on, different devices. In my case, I will leave it sticky in all devices, and I will also need to add a background because as you can see here, my header is now transparent. Okay, let's add a background. So we go to the Style tab, we go to the background, we can add a background here, for example, any kind of color. You can see here that now the header is no more transparent, but in my case I will leave it white, very simple and minimalistic. Okay, perfect. Let's go on now by deciding if we want the header to stick to the top when we scroll down here to the very top, or if we want to keep the spacing here, you see, because in my case here it's not keeping the space, but it's being attached to the top of the page. If I want to keep the floating space, let's call it like this, I have to go back to the advanced tab, scroll down to the motion effects, and be sure to insert an offset right here. And in this case, it will be the same amount of pixels as the margin that I'm using to the top, which is 20 pixels. You see here, now when I scroll down, the header stays in place like this, without sticking to the top of the page, but maintaining the 20 pixels distance. Perfect. Now we can also enable a light shadow effect to make the header stand out even more. So we can go back to the Style tab, we select the border, and in the border section we see that there is an option called box shadow, and we can click here on the pencil to enable this option. We can get to the color section here, and we can decrease a little bit the impact of this color. I like 0.11. This is great. Let's publish. You can choose here where you want to display this header. We can add a condition and choose the entire website. And be careful here that if you already have an header selected for your website, you will need to deselect the other header and to place this one instead of the other one, of course. In my case, I will choose maybe a singular page, a specific page. Let me go here and choose a specific page where I want to show this header. For example, in my 404 page. Okay, let's save and close. And now I will see that when I'm in my 404 page, this header will be displayed. And voila, as you can see here in my 404 page, I see my new header right here. Perfect. By the way, if you want to learn how to create beautiful 404 pages like this one using Elementor Pro, I have a tutorial in the description below and in the cards of this video. Okay, now we just need to optimize everything for tablet and for mobile. We see that here the menu, it's a little bit weird. As always, Elementor adds a weird effect here when we hover with mouse. So if you want to get rid of this background color here, we just need to select the menu. We go to the Style tab, we scroll down until we find the menu toggle, and we simply add a background color to the normal, hover, and active status. So in my normal status here, I add a background color, which will be white. Hover, the same thing, but white. Active, the same thing here, it will be a white background color. And as you can see here now, the background color has disappeared, which is exactly what I wanted. We can also replace the content of the drop down here by increasing, we can increase the distance here. You see here by the distance from the drop down. I encourage you here to make it a little bit more distant like this, so it will be more visible. And we can place the content to the center by going to the content and by choosing the item positioning to the center right now. Okay, perfect. We can go back to the Style tab now, and by going to the drop down menu, we will be able to add a box shadow even here. So we'll click here on the box shadow, and in my case I will use the box shadow to create a simple border, because I found out that if I'm using the normal solid border, there is a bug of Elementor in this case, so I prefer going with the shadow. Okay, so let's enable the shadow. We can leave it like this, or in my case I will just use the shadow to create a simple border by using the spread to 1 pixel. Okay, and by going to the color and make it maybe a little bit slightly, voila. Okay, so it's perfect. And then we'll be able also to go here and change the background type, for example. Okay, background color. Let's choose a light background. Voila. So the menu now is more visible, as you can see here, and it works perfectly. This menu will work, of course, also from mobile. So we go here in the mobile section and voila, it works fine. But we need to set up things a little bit different for mobile. So let's go back here in tablet. If you want to place this menu differently, maybe on the right side, we can go to the content here. We can scroll down. We go to the menu toggle and we select the right positioning. So now we place the menu toggle at the end. Perfect. If you want to, you can also push this menu to the very end of this header navigation. And to do so, you have to select this one, go to the Advanced tab, and make sure to go to the order and place the content at the end. You see here, by doing so, the menu will be placed at the end of the header. Okay, now if you go and have a quick preview, it will work fine. Perfect. If you want to get rid of this spacing right here, you just need to do so. First, you select the menu, okay. Then you go to the Advanced tab, and you place it on Size and Shrink. Okay, don't worry if you see that this menu goes back to the left side, because now we're going to pushing it back to the right side. We go and select the logo here that we want to keep on the left side of the header. And then we're going to the Advanced tab and we're going to the Size option and we will make it grow. Voila. We'll just need now to place the logo to the left side of the space here. So we will select the style of our logo. We go to the styling and we place the alignment on the left side. Perfect. And now if we have a quick preview, everything is placed correctly. And our menu looks gorgeous. Now the last part, we're going to optimize everything for mobile. Okay, we can choose here to proceed in different ways. But in general, as a best practice, we can get rid of some elements that are not so important on mobile. For example, here, our social media icons, we're going to be hiding them. Let's go and open the options. We select the social media icons. We go to the Advanced tab. We're going to place them at the end, okay? And we're going to hide them. So let's go into the responsive settings and we're going to hide them on mobile portrait. Perfect. Let's see if in mobile landscape they work fine. Okay, they still work fine here, but if you want to be sure to have less elements also on mobile landscape, you can hide them also on that kind of devices. Let's go back to the mobile portrait now, okay? And let's play around with all the elements. Here we have to place at the end the Contact Us button. So we select the Contact Us button, we go to the Advanced tab and we place it at the end. Okay, perfect. So that the menu, as you can see here, it's now placed correctly beside the logo. So we have the logo, the menu, and then the Contact Us button. Of course, you can get rid also of the Contact Us button because even here is best practice to have less elements into the mobile menu. But if you want to leave this button visible also in mobile, you can make it, for example, full width in this case. So we can select this button and we go and make it full width right here in the Advanced tab. Okay. You see here that the widget dimensioning is going full width, but not the button. And to make also the button full width, you have to go to the to the Style tab and make it justified like this. Perfect. Now let's have a quick preview. Okay, this will be my mobile menu, which is great. I can click on the menu and voila, perfect. If you want, you can also place this drop-down menu below the Contact Us button. To do so, you just need to play around with the settings that we already set up before. You select the menu and you make sure to go to the Style tab. Okay, scroll down until you find the menu toggle and then you just play around with the distance from drop-down. So let's open it. We'll try to open it by placing it, it's a little bit difficult here because you have the pencil that is hiding the menu. Let's see if it will stay open like this. Okay, perfect. And then you can increase the distance from drop down. You see here, now it's a little bit difficult because you also have the other elements that are not helping us in this kind of setting. So to do so, we just need to measure a little bit the distance here in pixels. In my case, it will be about 80 pixels. Okay, let's see if it will work, about 80 pixels. Okay, let's go and have a preview. Voila, now it works fine. 80 pixels, you see, it's perfect. Okay, so now we have all the different elements that stays in place even when I open my menu. And this is a beautiful, well-functioning menu. But if you want, you can even, as I was mentioning, hide the Contact Us button right here. You select this, you go to the Advanced tab and you simply scroll down to the responsive options and you can hide this button here in mobile. Okay, so now we have to go back to our menu, of course, to the style tab, to the menu toggle, and we can decrease the distance from drop down. Let's make it again about 20 pixels, for example. Let's see if it works fine. Voila, it's beautiful, simply beautiful here. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't hesitate to drop me a line down in the comment section below, and make sure to check all the links that I've left in the description below and the cards of the video to all my other Elementor Pro tutorials. I wish you all the best with your WordPress projects and hope to see you soon in the next video.